Most people think career growth and success is complicated, but careers usually get stalled when a specific mindset keeps you stuck in a previous stage of effectiveness. In the first video in this series, I talked about how that transition from doing the work to winning the work is the number one thing that gets in the way of growth for most professionals. In the process of writing my book, Gift to Grow, I found there were 5 key roadblocks that get in the way of professionals making this transition. And the most effective way I found to blast through these roadblocks is to take a 5-minute quick self-assessment that I'm going to guide you through right now. So grab a piece of paper, open a blank doc, or download the guide that's in this video's description, and I'll walk you through each step of the way. Okay, so when it comes to winning new work, new opportunities, relationships, partnerships, write down the letter of any phrase that you've heard yourself think before. You can pick as many as you like. Here's the first set of phrases. A, I hate the idea of selling. B, I don't have anything meaningful or new to share, so I can't reach out. C, I'm afraid I'll ask a dumb question. D, I can't reach out because I'm slammed with work right now. E, I don't want to come across as a nag or salesy. Okay, next set. A, I'm an introvert and not good at networking. B, I need an excuse to reach out. C, I'm out of touch with the rest of the team and I'm afraid I'll say something wrong. D, I'm too busy to work with them even if they did hire me. E, I'm worried they might not even remember me. Okay, now 5 more. A, I'm not good at chit-chat or small talk. B, I don't want to be bothersome. C, I'm afraid I might not know the answers to the questions they might ask. D, we don't have capacity right now. E, they're already spending a lot with us. Okay, final 5. A, I'm not as talented as someone else who seems like a natural at this stuff. B, it's been forever since we connected and it feels awkward to reach out right now. C, I'm not important enough to meet with them. Someone else should do it. D, I've already hit my goal for this year, so why try? E, they use somebody else for this type of thing. Okay, take a moment and see which letter came up the most for you. So here are what these phrases correspond to. 5 key lies that we found are the most common that will keep you from progressing the rest of your career. Let's talk about each of these lies and what you can do to blast through each. And by the way, here's a little secret. The order to these lies are important. To get to the latter ones, you have to blast through the earlier ones. They're all in sequence. If you marked primarily A phrases, that corresponds to the lie, I can't do that. In the beginning of your career, this can hit like a freight train. I don't want to do business development. I can't develop relationships. I didn't join my profession to sell. Later on in your career, this can become more narrow, but just as powerful. I can't speak at the big conferences. I can't bring in the big deals. Or I can't talk about areas outside of my core expertise. The problem with this lie is you never begin at all. It stops you in your tracks, convincing you that you can't do a thing. The root of this lie is having a fixed mindset. Growth mindset expert and researcher Carol Dweck has a great hack for this. She says, anytime you find yourself saying you can't do something, just do one thing. Put the word yet on the end of the sentence. I can't bring in the big deals yet. What this does is it reframes your mind to you can learn this thing. You learned all kinds of other much more technical things in your career just to get to where you're at today. So put the word yet at the end of anything you can't do and then start building a plan to learn it. Phrase B folks are dealing with the second lie. I don't know what to do. This can come about in many different ways. I'm not sure if they'll like what I have. I'm not sure if I know what they want to start with. And the issue here is this lie will sway you to delay. It'll cause you to hesitate. Here, you feel like you can make the move, but you're not sure if it's the move to make right now. Here's a story that exemplifies this perfectly. I was teaching a workshop about 20 high-end management consultants, and one of their top folks over in the corner was staring at the ceiling. And I said, "Hey, what are you thinking?" There's sort of I can see the thought bubble over your right shoulder. And he smiled and he says, "I've been thinking about client outreach all wrong. I've been thinking of it like we're playing tennis. I can only reply to them after they reply to me, like volleying." And he said, "Now I'm thinking of it like I'm practicing my serve. It's always my move, and I should always be sending value their way." The root of this lie is worry, specifically worry that what you'd like to do or you're thinking about doing might not be a perfect match with what they want. So the solution for this is ridiculously simple. Ask them what they want. This is really practically done in the middle of some delivery work where you might say, "Hey, Jane, I get a lot of things across my desk. What kind of things are you interested in the next year that I could send your way?" When you integrate asking what they want while you're with them, it gives you all kinds of things that you can follow up over the next month or the next year. It's always your move to make, so you don't want to limit yourself to specific times or days or topics. Always make a move, always be helpful, and you'll always be deepening the relationship. Phrase C is the third lie. I might do it wrong. This can surface in so many ways. A fear of not knowing the answer, of the client asking a question you don't have a deep answer to, or even not knowing something that's going on in the client with their business or with your client team internally. The root of this lie is your history of being perfect. You've probably been leading perfect meetings, perfect relationship, perfect delivery. There's a mental heuristic called earned dogmatism. And in a nut, it says, the more expert we feel we are in a certain area, the more closed-minded we become. So all that perfection that you have in your past can actually close you off to all the possibility you want to make in the future. So the solution to this lie is to pull the bigger thing that's stopping you all the way back to some small action that you can 100% control. Maybe it's to do a little bit of research. Maybe it's to ask a colleague, what would you do if you were me? Start to make action. This lie hates action, and it will leave you and go and bother somebody else. D is lie number 4. I'm too busy. And this one is a whopper. This one shows up in a million different ways. Everything from I'm slammed in simple statements like that, all the way down to details to people sharing, I don't even know when I'm going to go to the restroom this week. Or I've got a little moment, but I know I'm going to be busy in the future, and even if they said yes to this, I wouldn't be able to help them. The root of this lie is feeling like doing the work and winning the work are like an old school scale or a teeter-totter, where if you're doing one, you can't do the other. And if you've got this mindset, you'll stop before you begin. The successful folks think about integrating doing the work and winning the work. Now, there's a lot more to this one in Gift to Grow, but here's the number one thing you can think about. When you're integrating doing with winning the work, you want to leverage one of your biggest advantages, and that is access. A study out of Cornell University found that an in-person ask had a 34 times more likely chance of getting a yes than an email ask. That's not 34%, 34 times. A difference between 2 out of 100 chance of a yes and 68 out of 100 chance of a yes. So while you've got all this great access doing the work, just weave in some little 30-second asks that will help your future self. Hey, Jane, I've really enjoyed this work together. We should go to dinner at some point after we wrap this up and just get to know each other better. A little ask now while you have access will create momentum later when you don't. And finally, those that marked E often are dealing with the 5th lie. I'm afraid I'll look bad. This one surfaces in so many ways as well. The fear of sending something at the wrong time, wording something in not quite the right way, even worry that they might not even like me. The root of this lie is the fear of rejection. And the solution is not having the same expectations that you have while you're doing the work when you're winning the work. In doing the work, you're expecting a 10 out of 10 response rate. You send something, you need the data, they send it back. When you're winning the work, either talking about a new opportunity or fostering a new relationship, you should bring your expectations way down. The hack that you can use mentally for this is really simple. Think 10x, not 1x. Think, I'm going to add or offer value 10 times over the next year to this person. And I'm just hoping one of these things is going to resonate. Or in the shorter term, I'll invite 10 people to our event or webinar. I'm just hoping one person will get value out of that. When you think 10x, not 1x, it removes the idea that I need this one or I need this to work perfectly. And it pulls it all the way back to I win when I offer help. I win when I hit send. Now that you've learned how to identify the lies that are keeping you from succeeding at the next level, we're going to cover what amazing relationship building looks like at the practical and the tactical level. We'll cover this and more in the next video in this series, so click here to watch that so you can give more to grow your career and your relationships to another level. Thanks, and talk more soon.